Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to the Unity Trading Model live stream demonstration. This morning we'll be taking trades in the gold market on the 5 second time frame, and in the process we will be testing and demonstrating our new Excel interface into MetaTrader 5 so you can take trades, you can backtest, and you can analyze your strategy and then take trades in the financial markets. With me this morning is Ren Vallow. How are you today,
Hey,
Ren?
good morning, Mark. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Very well. What do you
Good.
think about the markets today?
So far, so good. We're finally getting that seasonality we've been talking about. So hopefully it stays with us because it's been an interesting couple of weeks.
Hasn't it? Interesting 11, 10 or 11 months.
Yeah, yeah. It's
It
been a
has
tough
been.
year. So a little bit of seasonality to the upside would be nice and be welcome at this point. So hopefully it continues. We call this like turnaround Tuesday.
Turn around Tuesday, yeah. Well, we had a bit of a sell-off yesterday, didn't we? We had what
Yeah.
looked a little bit like a harami pattern inside bar. So I'm just going to quickly flick on. So if you're watching this live or if you're watching it on catch-up, top left-hand screen we have a MetaTrader 5 terminal. And I'm just going to, although I am trading and testing gold, I'm going to have a quick look at what is happening in the equity markets because that is driving a lot of things today, along with the US dollar strength or weakness. So, NASDAQ is already trading about yesterday's high, so that's pretty good. That's a good sign. But the NASDAQ has been weaker and the S&P has been leading things.
Yeah.
So some of that traditional is there a rotational shift, do you think, or is this just a temporary blip with
Really, it looks like the Dow has been taking a lot of the attention to the upside. People have been really focused on those Dow stocks. There's less technology in the few
mm,
Dow stocks there are. So I think that's why you see the Dow like branching out to the upside, and the S&P is also has less technology than the Nasdaq, obviously. So I think that's the other reason why we're seeing the S&P stay above the Nasdaq and perform better. The technology has been out of favor all year.
hasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, especially like Facebook, Meta, that they've been getting just destroyed this year. So the exposure on the S&P is a little less, and there's no exposure on the Dow. So the Dow's been doing much better.
Yeah. And I think probably even, amongst the bigger factors has been the US dollar. It has been so colossally strong all year, no doubt, thanks to the Fed, at least in large part the Fed. So one of the things that the US dollar has been crushing is the gold price. So I
Yes.
know a lot of people like trading gold. And top left of your screen, you can see this is gold. I'll bring it over here actually, so you can see that as well, Ren. Gold has
Yep.
been in a strong downward trend. So a lot of people like gold when inflation is getting higher, but they have been very sadly disappointed this year.
Yep.
So I'm going to go on to the
Yeah.
1 minute time frame. We're actually testing and trading and demonstrating today on the 5 second time frame. So you can see in the bottom left hand corner of your screen. I'm just going to zoom into that a little bit more. This was a comment we received from Stefan, I think it was last week, and
Yep.
there you can see the zoomed in version of the spreadsheet. Now this is what we are demonstrating. It is a spreadsheet that you can use for analysis and back testing, and when you're ready you can switch to live trading mode, and that's what we're doing today. We're actually testing on a demo trading account, but it is exactly the same principle. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, so you can see here we've got the gold XAU USD code in here. So it looked pretty good. I looked at this morning actually and thought, yeah, that's a good one to look at. We've got a decent upward trend here. We've been seeing recently in gold, and we've got a few filters we can have a look at as well.
Yeah. This is hard for the gold traders because right now we have inflation going higher. So you would think gold will be going up a lot, but with the strong dollar, it's been suppressing gold quite a bit. It's kind of an interesting dynamic.
Mm, yeah, it has been. Yeah. So do you ever trade gold, Ren?
I used to
Barbarous
back
relic or
a long
yeah,
A long
essential
time
part.
ago. I haven't traded gold in about 10 years, but I did
No.
used to trade gold. It's just one of those things that I kind of got away from. It's a big contract when you're trading gold contracts. They're big, so I kind of let go of gold a while back. But it's definitely an interesting one, and I've always expected gold to go a lot higher than it is with
Mm.
the inflationary pressures. But it's kind of a very interesting paradox because as we get inflation, the Fed raises rates, making gold go lower. It's just a tough market, I think.
Yeah, it is. It's a tough, tough market. I've always struggled a bit with gold, actually. It was one of the very first markets that got me interested in trading in the first place. And this was back in 2006 when I first heard about gold as being quite low. And it was quite low back then. I think it was about $300 or $400 an ounce.
Yes,
And
I remember that.
yeah, and yeah, I should have just bought then. And so we'll see about, even after these recent price falls, we're what, 1650 at the moment. But I've struggled, must admit, I've struggled since then. I do these days, I prefer stocks, and we've been having some good success in our this trading analysis using Forex as well, in particular Euro,
Yes.
US dollar, and cable, GBP, USD.
Well, what I found recently is the currency markets have been very trendy. Like when we
Mm.
look at anything paired against the dollar, it's been so trendy that it's almost like taking candy from a baby. It's
Yeah.
so easy to trade, and our strategies work really well. It's not been a choppy market for the currencies, and I think that's what works best for traders when you have trending markets that trend for a while. And no
Right.
matter what strategy you're running, that's much better than a choppy market.
Yeah. I totally agree. Absolutely agree. The trend is the key thing. So what you can do in a model like this, based in Excel, so it's very user friendly, easy to understand, easy to do your own analysis, program your own strategies, your own technical indicators, or you could use the traditional indicators as well. What you can do is just have a strategy and then allow the model to trade it for you. So that's what we've created here. So it uses Excel, and then it has an interface which connects directly to MetaTrader 5 servers, so you can independently work on the terminal, which I'll have a quick look at now. This is the MetaTrader 5 terminal. We've got no affiliation whatsoever with MetaTrader 5, but Ren, maybe you can tell us a bit more about why we've decided to use the spreadsheet connected to MetaTrader 5.
So with MetaTrader 5, they gave us an API that was really nice that we could access the data directly and use the MetaTrader 5 platform independently from the data so that you could look at any stock or currency or commodity and not impact the data going back and forth. So they gave us a good data pipe with the API, and we can integrate to Excel quite easily with any brokerage or trading platform that gives us an API like that. But the way they gave us access is very easy to use, a lot of support. There's a large community built around it. So
Mm.
I think it made a lot of sense to use it. A lot of in the past, what they used to do was connect the trading platforms through DDE interfaces or APIs that were limited to the actual platform itself. So when you would go into the platform and change your symbol, it would then change the data going back to your whatever you're using, Excel in this case, and that would impact the trading sheet. So basically, our trading sheet's like a expert advisor running in the background, and you can do whatever you want in the trading platform and just browse all the different symbols and not worry about it impacting your actual trading strategy for the actual symbols that you're trading.
Mm.
So that's kind of a huge advantage for us and why we started going there.
Mm.
Looking at other brokerage firms, some of them are coming in line with this. Tastyworks, that one definitely has an API that works very similar.
Yeah.
There's a couple out there. So yeah, so that's why we want that route. Ease of
Great.
use. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned it's got brokers around the world, so you can find whether you're
Yes.
based in the US, Europe, UK, Australia, South Africa, or wherever, you will definitely be able to find MetaTrader 5 brokers that are registered and regulated in the country that you live in, which is a good advantage. There is a good range of brokers. Some brokers don't advertise it very widely, but they still offer it. So
Mhm.
it's widely available. It's non-broker specific, and as Ren was saying, it's just a pretty nice system for us to connect to. So it's fast. We've been getting really good fills haven't we, in all our testing?
Really good
Uh,
fills, yeah.
yeah, minimal slippage, and that is a key thing, especially the faster time frame, the more important slippage becomes. This is not a high frequency trading system that we're demonstrating here, despite the fact that we're testing this morning. Today on the 5 second time frame, we're doing that to get lots of trades and to demonstrate it to you, and you can see how it works. So I've gone back to the multi-screen. You can see simultaneously the MetaTrader 5 terminal in the top left and the Excel model in the bottom left. Now you can download this if you haven't done so already. Download this, as a link below the video. You can just click on that, get yourself registered, so you'll be the first to know when we announce the premium version, which is coming very, very soon, and test it. You can test exactly what I'm showing on here. You can test your own indicators, you can adjust it, and you can just see how it works. So you can download it absolutely for free. Just click on that link. So
Yep.
I've already said we're looking at the gold. So I'm going to just zoom in a little bit further here. And this is bottom left-hand corner of your screen. You can see the capital graph of the strategy here in green. And this is the underlying market, which has been trending upwards over this time period. Now we've got a couple of filters. If you've been following any of our previous ones, we've been working on new filters. We've got a basic strategy, which is buying on strength and selling on weakness, but we've got some ways to adjust it. So at the moment, it was set to 3 consecutive higher closes to enter long and the reverse to enter short. And we can change it and see the results adjust in real time here.
Yep.
All I'm doing is putting new values into a spreadsheet, just a spreadsheet itself. So it's really easy to do that.
Surprisingly, 3 is a magic number. I've noticed that even with currencies, it works really well. Opposed to like 4 or 5, 3 seems to work best.
I've got a note for actually that 3. It comes up a lot.
Yeah.
It comes up a lot when we have, often we've had a bit of a sell-off. We have 3 strong days. We have 1 strong recovery day. We have the second day, which often enough it fakes to go back down, but goes stronger again. And then that third day it pushes on again before we get back to whatever's going to happen next. But yeah, that rule of 3 happens a lot.
It's interesting. It really is, because I played around with this quite a bit, and I keep running into 3 for that particular strategy. It always seems to be the better one.
So we've got a couple of filters, and these are easy to set up. It only takes a few minutes. I've got one that I call the higher highs, lower lows, and this is basically a symmetry filter. And I'll put it onto the big screen again, so you can see this in a bit more detail what I'm doing. All I've done is I've added a filter so that says not only do we need to have 3 consecutive higher closes, we also have to have a matching 3 consecutive higher highs to go with it. So you can see I can flick it on and off there. We're getting a what are we getting? We're getting a higher profit factor.
Yeah. Less trades, higher profits, so less commissions as well.
So we would argue in this small sample that we're getting better quality. And that's not always been the case, but it has often been the case. So I do like that. It's like a symmetry filter. For those of you that like patterns in the market, that's a nice symmetry filter. Got Ren, your favorite?
I like the EMA filter. Let's see how it does.
Filtered there.
Not bad.
Increasing our percentage winning trades is not taking many out. There you go. So it's not taking out many trades, increasing the profit factor nicely again in this scenario.
So now you could use both as well. Try them both and see how that's going to eliminate a lot of trades though. Yeah.
So that's both of them. Okay.
Yep.
So I've got another one here. So I've actually got 4 today. So this is something that anybody could do. It wasn't difficult. It's just whatever occurs to you, you can give it a try. So this is what I call the price sector filter, but it's really a very long stochastic oscillator, over 100 bars. And I can click it on and off, and that's working nicely this morning. I have changed the settings. So what I've set it on for gold, now I don't know if that's the case for all of the markets, is that visualize this long stochastic oscillator, it's got to be below the 50 line. So it's
Yeah.
interesting there.
Yeah, it
Performing
does.
better with trades below there. So going from 48% win rate to a 67% win rate.
Which we like. I like anything above 65. I really do. So if you
Yeah,
find a strategy that's
yeah,
consistent at 65%, you can make some money.
right, yeah. You don't need high percentage winning trades, but it's good.
It's good when you do. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Um, and then I've got another one here. So this simple moving average. I'm just going to go back to us for a moment. So what I did last week is I introduced this and I did it, just put it in there quickly while we were actually running the live stream, and I'll show you again how I did it. So this is the tab that you can do all your analysis on. By the way, if anybody's got any questions, pop them in the chat box. I'd be more than happy to answer them. Just say hi. Anything you like, we'll be happy to respond. In the meantime, so what I've got here is a simple moving average, just in this column here. And I'll zoom in again so you can have a look at that in a bit more detail. So we've got a simple moving average of the high price. Now I'm going to just insert a new column, just the way you would do in any Excel model. And I'm going to put in a simple moving average of the low price. So the simple moving average is something that's very easy to do in Excel because it's a built-in function. It's just called equals average. So there I've created it, and I can just double click and you can see it's just an average function applied to the low price column. If I double click there, it will copy down to all the cells below. And if I go here, you can see I've already set it in for the long trades, applying to the simple moving average of the high, but I can do the same for our short trades. And I'm going to do it now. And it may seem a bit complicated, but it really isn't as soon as you get used to it. So I'm just going to say that the closing price, if we're going to go short, we want to go short, our closing price, it's not going to let me do that because it wants to copy some data. So what we need to do is what I'm going to do now. Ren, I'm going to close down the interface.
Yeah.
So,
I would say if you're going to change columns, it's probably a good idea just to close the connection down between them.
I was trying to do it whilst keeping the connection going, but all I've done is I've just closed it down. So just create an or statement, and there's loads of examples of how to do this. Closing price must be below simple moving average of the low price, or something else. And I'll show you what that something else is. Or this cell here that I've already created, our simple moving average filter. Press F4, list equal false. I'll press enter. Now I'm going to go and we're going to restart the interface, and it literally restarts in seconds. So it's already active again, and I'll demonstrate what that's doing in just a moment. But you can see here now, if I go into here, if I click on here, our simple moving average filter is also pretty effective. So at the moment,
and actually really good. I like that one. Yeah, that's almost better than the EMA.
Yeah, and this was just literally something that we did live, didn't we? We did it live last week. So it's a simple moving average filter of the highs and the lows. We haven't optimized it or anything, but we've just applied the highs to long trades and the lows to short trades. And we can make it active just by clicking a checkbox here. Gives us 50% winning trades, 57% winning trades. Now, you'll notice that the percentage of winning trades is changing all the time. This is because we are trading live and our sample of trades is constantly changing. So every time we're getting new data streaming into the model. And I'll scroll down here to the bottom of this part of the spreadsheet. Just takes a moment. We've got about 1,000 rows of data.
Yep.
And you can see every 5 seconds this information changes because new data is streamed into the spreadsheet, and we're using that data, we're analyzing it, we're checking it against our trading strategy conditions, and we're either opening or closing a trade or just doing nothing. So any thoughts about the
I like
filters
it.
or the strategies of the markets today, Ren?
Well, I'm not sure about today's strategies, but I do like this SMA filter. It seems to be like it goes along with my EMA filter, which I like that one already. So, of course, the SMA is not that much different, but it really does have a benefit there. I like it. So, I
Mm.
would definitely consider using it. Adding it isn't that hard. It looks a lot harder when you're just seeing it happen, but a lot of the stuff on Excel is color coded. So, you can kind of help you with your eyes, like saying, okay, well, this value is less than that value. And it's color coded in the formula too. So, you can kind of match it up pretty easily. Once you get used to looking at the spreadsheet, it's pretty easy to put it together. And what's nice about this is you can create your own custom filters. Unlike other trading platforms, it's very difficult to create a custom filter. If you've read about something in the Trading Commodities magazine and you want to implement it, a lot of times you're going to your broker and saying, "Oh, can you do this?" or "Is it possible?" Well, with Excel, if you're reading an article about someone doing some really cool custom trading strategy, you can just plug it right into Excel. So
Mm.
there is can you do it? You can do it.
You absolutely can do it. Yeah, 100%. It's an Excel. It's something that many of us use every day. We're familiar with the interface, and yeah, just being able to test what somebody's said. Yeah, whether it's in a magazine, whether it's in a forum, whether you've just come across it in a book, you can test these strategies and sort out the ones that have got a good chance of success from the ones that which don't have a good chance of success. And that's quite a lot of them. But we're here, we are testing this strategy. What would you say this spreadsheet is going to be optimal for, Ren? So, I mean, we've said that we're testing today on the 5 second time frame, but I think we probably suggested before that it's probably in the minutes time frame that you'll get the
Oh yeah,
most benefit from this type of system.
absolutely. I mean, like the a little bit, longer time frames. Like I would say if you went to the 15-minute time frame, you could find some really good strategies with this and back test some really good strategies as well. So like this strategy I like for a trending market. The simple sheet that we have currently is really, really good for like trending markets. So if you find one on a 15-minute time frame that's trending, or even a 5-minute time frame, you could probably consider going as low as that. That's pretty high frequency. But having a trading sheet help you to put the trades in makes it possible to do those kinds of things. I have tested quite a bit on the 1 minute time frame. And again, I've seen some really good success with trending markets, but the trends you have to really be careful about the trends on a 1 minute time frame
Mm,
because they change quite frequently. So
yeah.
what might be one day of an uptrend, the next day might be a downtrend day. So you have to be more aware of how to adjust your spreadsheet to accommodate the trend changes. So I
Yeah.
think that's the problem with the shorter time frames. It's not that they don't work because they actually do work. It's just that you have to constantly be aware of what trend you're in. And the trends change so frequently that you have to be really on top of your game as like the manager of the trading
Mm,
strategy.
yeah.
So
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you've probably done the most testing of either of us.
yeah.
What time frames are you tending towards? Do you prefer? I know
Well, the most
you like
profitable
your
ones.
faster time frames,
Yeah.
and we've
So
talked about that in the past. But what are you trying at the moment, and you think you're going to prefer going forward?
Well, if I see it like just for testing purposes, when I see like a really trendy market, the 1 minute time frame does really work
Mm,
well. I think when I see longer term trends, like if I'm running it for like a week at a time,
mm,
that 5 minute to 15-minute time frame is really nice. You get enough trades to get some real data, but it's not like too many trades for your commissions, and you're still very profitable.
yeah,
So
that's the
yeah.
thing that back testing can show. It's absolutely important. I've gone on about back testing for so long, but what we're doing here is forward testing in real time, and we're just getting a data, you know, confirmation. There's a thing about backtesting is that you never really remember quite all the different things that were going on when the price data was created. Whereas here, we know exactly what the situation is.
Yep.
You can make notes. Tuesday today, We started off in an uptrend. We had some dollar strength and things like that that can inform the process, inform the next stage of the process, and you can learn something every single day just going through the live, forward testing process.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really helpful, and you are getting some back test results here. So you've got that back test, and then you go into the forward testing, and hopefully you put the two together, and you've got a really good robust system.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I don't know which indicator works the best, generally speaking. The simpler, the better for me. I think like just when Montana brought up the idea of doing the 3 bar thing,
Mm.
I like that one, and it's simple, it works. It's just one of those items that you can use. And so if you find a nice trendy market, that's a really good strategy, believe it or not. But like there's other ones I really like. RSI, that's another favorite indicator
Yeah,
that I like to put on my spreadsheets and play with.
yeah.
So yeah, I've had a lot of luck. If you're looking for mean reversion, RSI is one of my favorites, for sure.
Yeah, it's an absolute classic. Yeah, the RSI, I've used it in so many different strategies. Yeah, RSI, I'd probably add stochastic to that and Bollinger Bands, but you don't really need to look too much further away from those to get a pretty solid trading strategy. You can throw in some moving averages, and those ones, there's a reason why they're the most popular and they've lasted so long, is because they cover a lot of different situations.
They do
So,
really.
just a reminder, if you've just tuned in or you're watching this part of it on playback, you can download the model and the interface that we are demonstrating today. It's a live trading demonstration, and you can download this Excel model and the interface. There's a link below this video. And also, if you've got any questions about how it works, your experiences with it, also drop a question in the chat box or send us an email.
Absolutely. Yeah. Any questions you have, would love to address. And if you have read about a custom strategy and you're interested in putting it in as part of our premium packages, we're hoping, we'll be glad to help you do that. So
Absolutely. Yeah, we're going to be launching the premium imminently. So any feedback you have at this stage will go directly into the development process, and we will really try and accommodate everything that people are asking us for. So comment, hi Ian, can you apply stop losses to the strategies? Yes, absolutely. And I'll go back to the zoomed in version so I can demonstrate just with a bit more clarity. So you can see here we've got a number of different things. This is mostly for backtesting purposes. You can allow for a cost of trading, a spread in your backtesting. You can change the method of the stop loss and position sizing as well. So by that I mean you can use the ATR, the average true range. A lot of particularly Forex traders love the ATR. I like it as well. Or you can use percentage if you're more used to stocks or ETF style trading. So what I'm showing here is the stop loss multiplier. So at the moment it's set to a multiple of 3. And because I'm using the ATR, it means that is 3 times the ATR. So if I change this value from 3 to 1, you can see here you've got a very tight stop loss. It will bring down our percentage of winning trades in here, but it should also, and will to an extent, reduce the amount of drawdown. So if I'm going to put that way out, so I'll double it. So now we have a reward to risk ratio of 1 to 2. If I put it to 1.5, actually flipped it around, you see we've got a reward to risk ratio of 2 to 1. And you can come up with any combination you like. So yeah, thanks for the question. Yes, you definitely can. And Ren, we talked a bit about a system order as well.
yes.
How do you think that's going to work?
So we have these in our, so as you run the spreadsheet, your profit target, your stop loss are set by you. There's also a redundancy built into it. So when trades are placed, there's a larger bracket put around your trade in case you were to lose your connection, or the internet went down in your neighborhood, or wherever you have this hosted. You could have it on a virtual private server. There's a safety at your brokerage saying, hey, if it goes up too much or down too much, we're going to close it anyway. So we put a bracket on your trade just in case something horrible would happen with your connection. So there's a couple of things. There's redundancy in your profit and stop every time a trade is placed, there is a larger profit and stop loss placed out there at your broker, so that in case everything goes down, you still
Mm.
won't be out there, so to speak, naked.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're protecting yourself with a. Is there both a stop loss protective order and a profit target protective order? One or
Yep.
the other?
Both actually. We're putting both in. You
Mm.
could ask for it to be different, but yeah, you both. I mean, if you just want to stop loss, it's fine to do it that way too.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, there's a protect. That's a mark. That's an order that's placed at the same time as you enter your trade, so that
Yes.
will be active at any time, even if you lose internet connectivity or something otherwise terrible happens to your trading system. You've still got that order to protect yourself.
Yeah.
So another thing, thanks for the question, Ian. Hopefully we've answered that one. Another thing we were talking about last week, Ren, was this idea of the model itself. How does it connect up to your MetaTrader 5 account? So I asked you this
Okay.
question, and
Yeah.
I'm asking you again now.
So that's our interface that we have between the two systems. So when you download your spreadsheet, you can download the interface that connects you to MetaTrader 5. All it's doing is when you enable automatic trading or algo trading on MetaTrader 5, that just says, okay, it's okay to send the data through, and the data for the stock prices are going to your being transmitted to your Excel spreadsheet, and any trade indications that come from your Excel spreadsheet are then sent back to MetaTrader, vice versa. So it just creates that pipe for the data to go back and forth. It doesn't send any credentials. No users and passwords are sent. All that is handled by your trading platform. So you're just sending the data and the trade indications back and forth, and that's it.
Yeah. So what my first thought was that is that yeah, so MetaTrader 5 is handling all the account logins, everything like that. None of that is being done through Excel, so there's no security risk there. The
Yeah.
account that you're logged in and your terminal. So I'm going to switch on to the MetaTrader 5 terminal here. Once again, we are not in any way affiliated with MetaTrader 5 or any particular brokers. It is broker agnostic, whichever broker that you use. As long as you use MetaTrader 5, this system will work with it.
No,
So,
Mark, I'm not seeing MetaTrader 5 on the screen. I'm only seeing the Excel spreadsheet at the moment.
so let's bring up the terminal here. Um, there we go. So,
There.
well, firstly, what I can see is that
Wow. What
yeah,
happened to gold?
yeah. So the gold's just rolled over a little bit, suggesting that the US dollar has strengthened throughout the early part of the first 30 minutes of the stock trading session. So we'll see how that goes. We could actually go directly onto. So you said the Dow. Let's have a look. Yeah, pretty similar pattern there. So we've seen a bit of a sell-off there. Hopefully that's going to be a fake out to the downside, but we will see.
Yeah,
So
it must have been some sort of interest rate comments by somebody,
yeah,
because it looks like, yeah, all the markets just crashed down.
yeah, yeah. So the Fed Fed, are they talking today or is that tomorrow?
They talk tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow's
Yeah.
the big meeting, but apparently somebody must have said something about rates, because gold just got, yeah, when gold and the dollar start moving like that, then you have to assume somebody with some importance
Mhm.
must have said something.
Yeah. So it looks once again, that the US dollar is driving everything, and it looks to be strengthening at the moment, which is what has caused the gold price to fall. And so we were talking about, this is the MetaTrader 5 terminal showing on the screen here. The system itself is very simple. It's a lot less, it's not the most fancy system, but it is pretty strong and effective. It allows you to test and to trade what they call expert advisors, algo trading. And we, as Ren, you said earlier today, are effectively doing exactly the same thing, except we're doing it through Excel.
Right. And the big difference between using Excel as your expert advisor in MetaTrader, that's kind of what MetaTrader calls them, and using one of their internal algos where you can code your own algorithm, is that it's not a black box. Like, those are kind of black boxes where you write it in their coding language. It says, hey, trade when the RSI is here. But when it's running, you can't see what's happening. But with Excel, you can see all the different things, all the columns and rows updating. You can see where the data is being populated and why the trade was taken. So it's a lot different than the other expert advisors you see out there.
Hmm.
It's like gives you full control and a full view of what's happening.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So many EAs that you can purchase or find on the internet for MetaTrader 5. You can adjust some of the settings, but you don't really understand the system itself. For
Yep.
this, everything is out there. It's all in Excel. You can do new analysis. You can make changes. You can make changes on the fly while you're forward testing it like we're doing today.
Yep.
So one thing I just noticed actually, relative to the what we were talking about, the filters are actually kicking in at the moment because the price has reversed quite quickly. We
Oh,
seem
that's
to
beautiful.
be
Look at that.
they
Yeah.
seem to be doing their job. So we're not actually getting many trades. We're actually in a short trade here.
Yep. That's
Well, it is
beautiful.
a long short trade, isn't it? So
It's working quite well.
yeah. So oh, I know why. I usually have a I have not got the time close on today. That must be something I was trying earlier. So this is another exit condition you've got in here. There's so many different ways that you can do it. You don't need all these options. This is just to demonstrate what you can do with it. So we have a time close as well. So in this scenario, normally we close them quite quickly, but in this scenario, we are just letting the trade run out.
Yeah, yeah, and it's good to see the filters working because I think that's not really that obvious on most days that we trade. But on this one, you can see how the underlying market crashed, but our trading strategy prevented that from happening into our account
Mm.
balance. So that's good. If you were just holding gold, you would just lost that money.
Yeah.
Whereas with the filter, it's preventing us from continuing to trade in the wrong direction. It's basically saying,
Mm.
"Hey, there's something to stop here. We have to stop."
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, the capital graph is still trending upwards, which is obviously what we want to see. And the underlying, as you just said, Ren, is well, it started going south with the as the US dollar strengthened. So this is what we want to see. We want to see our filters kicking in and our trading capital, our equity graph keep continuing to point upwards. So I don't know if we've got anybody here who's got some questions about anything you've seen. Ian asked a question about stop losses. You can certainly do that. Um, we've demonstrated the strategy. We talked about the strategy and the new filters. Premium version is coming soon, but you can download this version. You can test it in a demo account. You can test it absolutely for free, and there's a link below the video to get that.
Right. The only difference between the live version that we're going to put out and this one is this has a time limitation of about 15 minutes on it.
Hmm.
You can keep rerunning it. It's not like a limited in that way, but as far as like gives you full functionality to change whatever you want. You can run it to your heart's content to test whatever conditions you want to test.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, as you said, the only difference is it doesn't run continuously. So it will cut off after a set period of time. Apart
Yep.
from that, it has got full functionality and you can play around with it and decide if this is something for you. The premium version will be coming very soon. If you're on the email list, you'll find out first. We'll be looking to take an initial group of people into the onto the spreadsheet system, and we will be working closely with them. And this will be the closest we'll work with any of the groups and get strategies, get people up and running, and really move the development on quickly.
Yeah, that's a big advantage of joining us early on in the process.
Mm. Exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, we want people to sign up and we want to keep improving this to make it as useful as possible for traders.
Yep.
So, unless we've got any further comments, I think we're going to sign off today. We were slightly later starting out today, but we've run on for a good bit of time. We've taken loads of trades, although our equity curve has stalled with the in the right way because the EMA filter is active. In fact, two filters are active, and the simple moving average. They're both active, and so it's a good way to stay safe.
Yeah, it is. It looks good. That's a
So
good way to wrap it up too, because we stayed safe. We did lots of trading and made a little bit of money.
exactly, yeah. That's all we want to do. Just make a little bit of money each day, and come up with the strategy first, automate it, test it, and then let the system run for you. Well, thank you very much for being with us again today, Ren. Enjoyed
Yeah,
today
thank you.
as usual.
Yeah, thank you for hosting, Mark. I appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun. It was a good day out there. Really good demonstration today of changing, adding indicators, watching those filters that you added go into work for you and
Mm.
prevent you from losing money. So that's
Yeah,
good. Yeah.
yeah. It's proved what
All
we've
right.
been saying for a while, that the filters are a very important part. Okay, so we
Yeah.
will be doing another live stream next week. We'll be doing it just before the US stock market opens, and I look forward to seeing you there.
All right. Take care. Thanks, Mark.